Shalom. Giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. News and prophecy, where we link the things happening right before our very eyes to the Holy Scriptures, so that we can gain understanding of where we are pursuant to prophecy as we look at the world around us, according to what prophecy said. As the scriptures say in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, we measure the times diligently, okay? And we do that by comparing spiritual things with spiritual, looking at the world before us, the things that are happening, and lining it up with what the prophet said. As the scriptures say in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, at the end, these visions would speak. All right, and I want to spotlight this video done by the priest Ibadia of the GMS Mississippi camp. Make sure you subscribe to his page, Ak of Judah 2011. All right, subscribe to his page and be constantly edified. The title of his video is the 4.0 Industrial Revolution in Human Error. All right. The 4.0 Industrial Revolution in Human Error. And here at Great Millstone, we like to keep an eye on the devil. We like to keep an eye, on the powers that be, as they are able to throw out enchantments to have people arguing back and forth, over minuscule points, throwing out situations to control the narrative, to conquer the mind, which we're in a psyop. We're in a psychological operation. We focus on what they're really saying and what they're really doing, so that you believers, can, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, see through his enchantments and his many devices. Because as the scriptures say, we are not ignorant to Satan's devices, and they definitely have a plan. And as we always show you, our forefather John the Revelator was given a vision, and he wrote it down. And it has everything to do with what we're seeing. Now, when you deal with Industry 4.0, what this elder brother did was he went to, I believe, ChatGPT, and he typed in what is the fourth industrial revolution. Now, if you don't know, when you deal with the World Economic Forum, when you deal, with the fourth industrial revolution, this guy, Mr. Schwab, who is supposedly a part of the Red Shield family, the Rothschild people, which they changed their names, and you're never really able to know who's who and what's what, but it's all fulfilled in prophecy by calling them the wicked, which the biblical Edomites are at the forefront of this fourth beast, and the revival of it, which is the revival of the Western Roman Empire. That's what the Renaissance period, leading up to where we are today, was able to reestablish in the earth, was the dominance of the Western Roman Empire. But this time around, they have technology, science, and a perfected sword via their military, control of the media, the fatness of the earth, as a means to reestablish the Western Roman Empire as a world power. All right, because the current, rulership that we live in is the final rulership of the heathen, where the Lord will send back his only begotten Son, because things are going to get absolutely out of control with this plan. As they have you people arguing back and forth over politics, over Trump, over Biden, these people have hijacked all of the resources of the planet Earth, and they have a very demonic plan. All right. And by their own merit, with this fourth industrial revolution, as I have it pulled up here, Industry 4.0, is the emergence of AI, which we clearly see Trump, with Elon Musk and, all of the big tech billionaires surrounding him, boasting in this machine learning, big data, robotics, Internet of Things, blockchain, quantum computing, and genetic engineering. And this is not medical information. We're just reading what you all are doing. All right. It says impact on society. This revolution is expected to signify change in various aspects of life, including manufacturing processes, healthcare, transportation. We already see it being established with the transportation, driverless vehicles, where vehicles are just driving around. All right, which that's going to take away a lot of jobs. The way healthcare is viewed, okay, which in the new system with the new digital ID and everything that these people have planned, we can clearly see that this is headed towards the MOTB system and the administering of the micro C-hip, the mark of the beast, all right, employment, and even our understanding of what it means to be human. Okay, so what will change is our understanding of what it means to be human, and that's what we're going to focus on now. In this brother's video, I'm going to play some of it. He brings out some very interesting points, and he also brings out the movie Leave the World Behind. If you haven't seen it, you can go see it. I believe it's on Netflix. But we know in that movie, human error, the grid failure, cars, crash, driverless cars just crashing, planes crashing, all of those things were in that movie, and we're seeing it. So let's listen to a little bit of this brother's video before we move forward with this video, and hopefully you brothers and sisters are edified. Now remember what our Lord and Savior said here in the book of Mark 13 and 20. Let's start at verse 19. It says, "For in those days shall be affliction such as was not from the beginning of creation, which God created unto this time, neither shall be." Okay, let's read this in the NLT. And this is synonymous with what's written in Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, with Jacob's trouble. This is synonymous with Daniel, the 12th chapter, where there will be a time worse than any other time in history. And we believe through the Spirit that AI is going to have a lot to do with that, as we're going to show you some of their, demonic plans. Looking this up in the NLT, it says, "For there will be greater anguish in those days than at any time since God created the world." Speaking of end time prophecy, and it will never be so great again. So we're living in and coming up on some of the worst times, that the earth has ever seen. To give you an example of how absolutely crazy these people are with this AI, listen to this guy. Okay, listen to this.
Imagine the situation when you incorporate an AI. Now this AI is a corporation, and as a corporation, US law recognizes it as a person with certain rights like freedom of speech. It can go online, for instance, and offer its services to people and earn money. Then it can open a bank account and invest its money in the stock exchange. And if it's very smart and very intelligent, it could become the richest person in the US. Now imagine the richest person in the US is not a human, it's an AI. And according to US law, one of the rights of this person is to make political contributions, donations. This was the main reason behind Citizen United in 2010. So this AI now makes billions of dollars of contributions to politicians in exchange for expanding AI rights. And the legal path in the US is completely open. You don't need any new law to make this happen.
And as crazy as this sounds, it sounds like he's talking about Elon Musk, right? Mark Zuckerberg. Maybe these are a bunch of already man merged with machine taking over. Who knows? But that sounds creepy, right? And a lot of you think that this is a joke. You think that these people are playing with you, but if this plan, as we're going to show you, is able to continue, all right, then there will be no more human beings. All right, the new human will what did we just read? Let's go back here. Let's go back to the fourth industrial revolution outline. Okay. While Jake is arguing back and forth about Luca and, Anthony Davis and all of these, minuscule things that really have no bearing. It's very interesting that our people are able to make these, come to these conclusions about how sports teams are ran and how, ignorant the owners are and how that was a stupid move, but they're not able to look out into the earth and call out the powers that be in this wicked plan where they're telling you with the fourth industrial revolution, we are going to change the understanding of what it means to be human. Okay. This ain't just a guy on the street corner with $800 in his savings account, saying he's superior. All right. Or we the Israelites. These are people with trillions of dollars with control, and they have the ability to pass legislation and laws putting these plans into action, and it will affect your everyday life. Now, Yahweh Shai warned at these times, at the very end, which is tied to the revival of the fourth beast, because that's the final, rulership of the heathen before the kingdom of heaven is established. That's what we're living in now. Okay. The last leg of the Roman Empire. Okay. Which was prophesied in Daniel the 7th chapter to be revived. It says here, except the Lord, Mark 13:20, have shortened those days, no flesh would be saved. But for the elect's sake, who are going to get victory over the beast, his image, his mark, his name, and all of that. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. This is why times are speeding up. Okay, so except the Lord shorten these times, no flesh would be saved. Let's look up this word for flesh. As they're telling you, okay, they're going to redefine what a human is. All right, and they're going to have the science and everything else to justify it. All right, they're going to have the money to put these things into action. Okay, give me 1 second here. So the word for flesh, as we can see here, is sarx. Give me 1 second. So no flesh would be saved if the Lord didn't shorten these days and end this devil's plan. It's basically what is being said here in the book of Mark. So let's go to this word, flesh, sarx. Okay, flesh. The soft substance of the living body, which covers the bones, both man and beast. And he's already, changing, internally when you deal with the D to the N to the Iza. He's already, manipulating that, and pretty much when it's all said and done, he'll have a patent on you, and you will be his creation. The body of man, used of natural physical origin. Okay, physical origin. Born of natural generation. All right, a living creature. Okay, whether man or beast, and he's even boasting in, genetically altering the cow to fit. All right, this agenda to save the earth. All right, from overpopulation, or getting too hot. When you deal with this man's philosophy, is absolutely crazy. So let's go into Industry 4.0 and tie it to the Holy Scriptures, man.
Changes in workforce and skills. The fourth industrial revolution is likely to lead to significant changes in the workforce and the skills required, with a greater emphasis on STEM skills and lifelong learning. Challenges and concerns. Number one, job displacement and inequality. The fourth industrial revolution has the potential to displace jobs and exacerbate, which means bitter or harsh, inequality, particularly for low-skilled and low-wage workers.
All right, inequality for low-skilled and low-wage workers. Those people will be starved out, will lose out, all right, be destroyed for the most part, all right, and, fixated to 15-minute cities where they'll be told what to do, where to go, how far they can travel, what they can eat, what's considered food. And yes, they will have to be chipped up, all right, pursuant to what's written in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. Let's keep listening.
These planes are being sabotaged, and they're using human error as the culprit to attain what? The fourth industrial revolution. The new wave is robotics and automation. I repeat, these planes are being sabotaged, and they're using human error as the culprit to attain the fourth industrial revolution and the new wave.
All right. If you look at one of my latest news and prophecies, we went into how, they're using the failure of these planes, low hanging fruit, getting jobs, dealing with, travel and this and that as a means to say we need to re-examine. We need to, start over. And, I have a few videos. This one here is a good one. The fourth industrial revolution in a GR, this term here. But I want to start here as well. All right. With this video here, are we the last generation of pure humans? The permanent, all right, destruction of human genetics. Okay. But let's keep listening to this brother's video.
Is robotics and automation. Fair use. TikTok platform News Nation.
My administration will set the highest possible bar for aviation safety. We have to have our smartest people. It doesn't matter what they look like,
Human error.
how they speak, who they are. It matters. Intellect, talent.
See, they're talking about, it doesn't matter what they look like, but all of this is going to be based upon, their science, and we know who's the highest functioning human beings on Earth, when it comes to their science. All right, who has the highest IQ? When we tell you they're returning back to their scientific racism and all of that, and now they're going to apply AI to it, which Lord willing, me and the elder brother Require Kwam will get into it. But this is all a part of it as well. Okay, and it will be used to justify what they're getting ready to do.
The word talent. You have to be talented, naturally talented geniuses. You can't have regular people doing that job. They won't be able to do it. But we'll restore faith in American air travel.
What happened yesterday shouldn't have happened. It should not have happened. And when Americans take off in airplanes, they should expect to land at their destination. That didn't happen yesterday. That's not acceptable.
The era of DEI is gone at the Defense Department, and we need the best.
See, within this digital system, a goal is to have what? Robotics and automation. Meaning they're done with humans. Okay? So basically, Trump is saying DEI, however, he's promoting what? Human error. Because the ultimate goal is what? The attainment of industrial revolution. So they want to use what? Robotics and automation.
Right. And when you deal with the industrial revolutions, where do they start? All right, with the British, all right, which America came out of the British. You had the first industrial revolution, the second industrial revolution, the third industrial revolution, and now you have the fourth industrial revolution, where they're going to merge man with technology and set up a system where artificial intelligence governs the earth and man will be subject to that government. Okay. And these plans are being implemented all over. Okay. This is an article here. How did the states, cities, embrace UN's 2030 agenda climate action plans? All right. And as it's saying here, I dare you to search for your city in the words climate action plan on Google. You will be shocked. I estimate that 70% of all cities already have a formal plan. All right. Another 20% are working on it. And when it's all said and done, okay, the need for peace and safety and everything that you see here in these grids is going to be addressed. But the answer, all right, will be AI. Now, in this video, he also brought out, the movie Leave the World Behind, and how pretty much in that movie, you had planes falling out of the sky. You had all of these issues. And let's see if he brings it. Let's see if I can pull it up here.
Clay, get in the car!
Wait, should we wait and talk to him?
Get in the fucking car right now! Like, should we flag them down? Maybe they know something.
No one in that car!
And the people who write these movies are, warlocks, lesser luminaries, and they're given these scripts. The Simpsons is a great example, but a lot of their movies, books, they hide things, they prophesy things that are going to be fulfilled. Self-fulfilling prophecies. They prophesy these things via their movies, their books, their commercials, their cartoons, and then it actually plays out. We're dealing with a group of Satanists, all right, and it's not a low-level plan that they have, man.
Plane crash scene, fair use.
Fair use.
That's a pilot of a crashed plane.
Just imagine. It's all dark out here.
Oh, God.
Your little bedside lamp is glowing.
Also, Zaquan Shaquat of Mississippi brought this up. Those red notes, okay, did not China have another platform called Red Note after the failure of TikTok? However, TikTok is back running.
Right up to you.
That's not funny, Archie. That really hurt.
You'll be fine.
No, I won't.
Dude, calm the fuck down. It's just a joke.
This morning, I saw deer. Not a deer. Do they go around?
You see,
This movie predicts malfunction, Teslas, and also plane crashes. This is predictive programming. When you look up that term, predictive program, it goes into foretell prophecy.
right, and you can watch the full video of this brother and be edified. But as you can see, yes, predictive programming, left-handed prophecies. We're living in a complete psychological operation now. Dealing with the fourth industrial revolution, we're going to deal with the fact that they are planning on changing. They're using human error as a means to bring this in. All right. And also they're going to change the understanding of what it is to be a human. Listen to this video here. We're going to listen to just a little bit. You can check this out. It's on Rumble. Are we the last generations of pure humans?
Two parallel themes in Pure Human. Number one, the best minds of our time are telling us that unless we change our thinking and unless we change the path that we're on right now, within about 5 years, around 2030 is the year they're looking at, there will be very, very few pure humans remaining on our planet today. When you talk to someone in the grocery store or on the street, you'll be talking to some form of a hybrid human and machine. You know, it's no secret as well that there is a move to replace our biology with technology, computer chips in the brain, chemicals in the blood, sensors, RFID chips, artificial intelligence. That's no secret.
You see that? And when you get Revelation, the 13th chapter, again, this is not medical information. We're just going in the news. At the very end of the revival of Rome, all right, which again started at the Renaissance, all right, out of Italy. Then you get the Spanish, the French, the British. You get America. The small hats are up in there as well. An extension of British, colonization. eventually they added all of these technologies, and now we're living at the very end of that revival of Rome, which John the Revelator goes into perfectly here in this chapter. We're not going to go too much into it, but at the very end of their rule, there will be a plan to cause all, both small and great, Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So what does it mean to have the name of the beast or the number of his name? It's pretty much the same as the mark, all right, which is a physical thing, all right, as he just talked about, the brain, C-hips, brain interfaces and all of that, merging man with machine, which is their plan. And his number, again, is 300, 600, 6, 666, which we've always break this down. You have chi, psi, stigma, all right, which this is very much well and alive. Okay, we know chi is the first three letters in Christ, anointed. You see the X, that's their plan, to X out the true anointed and establish themselves as the anointed ones in the earth, as the high priest or the chief priest on the left-hand side in the earth. Xi, we showed you that this logo here, when you look up this, it has everything to do with, physics, and you can even look at the Tesla logo, the E on there. That's what this points to. The Biden-Harris campaign, the E was those three lines. Those three lines point to, all right, Xi, which is a Greek character that deals with a whole hell of a lot of left hand magic, and this is what we see being instituted in the planet Earth. Okay, if you haven't watched, as a matter of fact, let's just let's do that real quick. In the uppercase form of Xi, as you can see here, is these three lines, which we see, those three lines used in a lot of these computing and AI companies. We clearly see it, and when you go into it, it deals with physics, mathematics. And again, as we always show you, you see Tesla, it has that those three lines that points to the Xi. So it has everything to do with their science, their left-hand magic. And then you have stigma. Okay, let's get this out of here. You have what is known as stigma. 1 second here. And there's more companies. The presidential campaigns of Joe Biden styled as Biden. See that E? So that's what this is. And then you have stigma, what is stigma? Let's look it up here. So you have chi, psi, stigma, 666. There's already, theories out there equating www to 666. There's so much happening around us that, it can go over your head, but it has all kind of meaning. It has everything to do with what John the Revelator saw here in Revelation, the 13th chapter. Now, stigma is stizo, or stick, prick. Okay, so it's something that will stick you. All right. And a mark pricked or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name of the stamp or of their master. You bore the name of your master by putting a brand or a tattoo on you in ancient Rome, which I'm going to do a video. I'm going to go into that deeper. But the soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even certain devotees who stamped themselves in this way with a token to their god. So you, by taking this, you now have his name on you, and it will redefine what it means, okay, for you to be a human. You will now be his creation. You will now own to him. You will be his possession. All right. And that's their plan. It sounds crazy, right? Well, they are crazy. Okay, what? Look at the world. Isn't everything crazy? Let's listen to this guy. Let's listen to what he just said. Let's rewind it a little bit, and then we'll play a little bit more and get to the next video.
Talking to some form of a hybrid human and machine. You know, it's no secret as well that there is a move to replace our biology with technology. Computer chips in the brain, chemicals in the blood, sensors, RFID chips, artificial intelligence. That's no secret. The experts are telling us that we very probably are the last generation, you and I are the last generation of pure humans that will walk this earth unless we make a choice in our lives. That's one theme in the book. I want you to understand that the policies are already being written right now. The laws are already being enacted, and the goals are already in place. Within the next 5 years, between now and 2030, the changes that we see in our lives and our world are going to be unlike anything that we've ever seen in our past, in our lifetimes.
And this has everything to do with Daniel, the 12th chapter. Let's get that. So this is not a game. We're not here to play games with you. We're not here to, bring you a message. We don't want your money. If you want to help, and tie, that's all fine and dandy. But there's, at the end of the day, we're here to do the Lord's work. All right. We wholeheartedly believe what the volume of the book says, and we wholeheartedly know and understand what we're up against. We need the Lord. See, we need divine intervention, which is what's prophesied here in Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book of life. You see, and at this particular time, all right, Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the word, seal the book, until the time of the end, where ultimately the Lord will give us the Holy Spirit. All right. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So we can clearly see knowledge is being increased. Okay. On the right hand side. All right. But also on the left hand side. Right hand represents righteousness. Left hand represents wickedness, Satan. And again, 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, and the 8th verse tells you that the men of sin would come to do the bidding of Satan. Now, the word for knowledge is daitha, knowledge, perception, skill, discernment, understanding, wisdom. And they're presenting unto you artificial wisdom as a means to how the new world will be ran. And if they're able to implement this, okay, ultimately what they will be able to, they'll get the victory. If this is instituted and they actually do this, then that means, they got victory over the Lord, you see, and the holy people will forever be, changed, and what's written in Revelation 14 and 15, where we get victory over this, is not true, because there is a scripture where it's promised that we're going to get victory. We just read in Daniel, the 12th chapter, that it's going to get so bad that our Lord and Savior and the angels are going to have to come and, defend us. And AI has everything to do with what's written in Daniel, the 12th chapter. See? The ability to use AI to police. Okay. All right. And root, because AI is going to be biased. Okay. It's going to root out the truth. They're going to use it to root the truth out of the earth. Okay. And destroy anything in opposition. You see?
In some respects, in the history of our civilization. And I want to tell you why that is. The other part of the book, there are two simultaneous themes. The second part is that our humanness is so poorly understood, we are on the precipice. We're about to give away our humanness to the technology before we even know what it fully means to be human. In this book, I'm sharing with you new discoveries, new science, not technical. It's not a technical book. It was written for everyone, from homemakers and students to engineers to truck drivers to scientists to scholars, because we're all in this together. The new discoveries are telling us that our humanness meets and in many cases exceeds the capacity of the technology that is proposed to replace our bodies, replace our humanness. I'm going to talk to you about that in just a moment. So let's go back. These two parallel themes, the theme of change in our world and the encouragement to give away our humanness to technology. They are deeply related, and they're deeply reflected in the events that are playing out in the world today. I've had people come to me when I am at home in my little rural community here in northern New Mexico, and I go to the grocery store co-op, and people come up to me and they just feel the world is falling apart at the seams for no apparent reason. that there are these spontaneous changes that are happening, whether it's climate change or social change or the wars in Europe or the wars in the Middle East, all the things are going on. They say, Greg, isn't it interesting that these are all happening at the same time? Well, it is interesting, and it is not a coincidence, and it is not a synchronicity. It is by design. There is a concerted effort to remake this world and to do it within the next 5 years in ways that we have never seen before. Now, of course.
Now, does not the scripture say the devil is going to come down unto you having great wrath? Real soon, a lot of you people are going to stop playing all these damn games. And we can't wait. Because we know and understand that this is the only way out. And when the Lord comes, he's coming to rebuke these wicked inventions that these heathen are setting up. Okay? Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Okay? Let's get 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter. 2nd Esdras 13 and 37. And this my son, which is Yahweh Shai, shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and torments, wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto me. So there you go. The Lord is coming back to rebuke these wicked inventions of the heathen. All right. Which, all this technology that they're boasting in, at the end of the day, they boast and act like it's just so great. But look at the world with all of this technology. Human beings are suffering. 2nd Esdras 9:20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were coming to it. And AI is one of those devices. Listen to a little bit more of this, and then we'll skip to the next video, get a few other, and close it out.
First, we have seen humans impact the world around us. We've always done that. We've had the ability to impact our ecosystems, clear cut forests, pull fossil fuels out of the ground and pollute water sources. And, we've always done that. Here's what makes right now so different. Here's why I felt the urgency. And there is a sense of urgency, a joyous urgency in sharing this information. Joyous in the sense that the new discoveries are so joyous and that we have time to preserve our humanness. And the urgency is that if we're going to do it, now is the time to do it. We don't have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years or another generation. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen in the next 5 years or so. So we have always had the ability to change the world around us. Here is what makes now so very different. For the first time, we have the technology, and we also have the desire to change the world within us, to change our very humanness, to change the biology, to change the genetics, to change the DNA, to change the cellular structure and the function of our bodies in ways that reflect the ideas and the agendas of other people.
And that's what 2020 from till now was the beginning of that. Okay.
We've never had that before. And here's the catch. Once we make those kinds of changes, once we engineer the genetics of the human body, once we do that, we can never go back to what we were in the past. It's not like you can make a genetic change and say, let's check this out. If it doesn't work, say, whoops, it didn't work. Let's go back to where we were. It can't do that because of the way we're designed. Once we embrace these changes, whether it's artificial intelligence or chemicals in the blood or the replacement of entire systems within the body, once we do that, our body morphs and it adapts to that new change. We become different than we were before that change. That's why we can't go back to the change. We evolve in a sense, but this.
Yeah, the evolution, right? He's going to present you this plan where you can evolve into a god, and be, upgraded as a human because of human error is at the forefront as well of what they're bringing. Okay. And it's all a snare. And they deceive many people with their miracles and their technology and everything that they've been able to present to the human race as AI is growing. People are wooed by it, but it's a snare. And it has everything to do with what John the Revelator, prophesied. This is the book of Psalm 64:2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword, and who bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. See, they're doing it in secret, but the real plan is for you Israelites, for us, the Israelites, man, especially those of us who have the word, man. Okay, because if they're able to, complete this plan, not only will they be able to root the truth out of the earth, they'll be able to put all of the prophet, all of the elect, destroy them, and start over with a new, all right, form of Israelite. All right, you'll be changed. Now, as crazy as it sounds, that's what their plan is. See, so when the Lord returns, he won't come back to a physical seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's going to come back and ultimately hit a U-turn because there was no Israelites to save. They're all done away with. Matter of fact, he ain't coming in the first place because their plan is to X out. All right, the Lord, okay, and to ultimately make you cattle, make you their possession. Okay, that's what this is talking about. Put his name on you. Okay, redefine what it means to be a human. Okay. Psalm 64:5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune in laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of one of them and the heart is deep. Okay. Their minds are deep. Okay. It says, as they plot their crimes, they say, we have desired the perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning. And we know that Esau is a cunning hunter. See? when they're talking about industry, 4.0 and the fourth industrial revolution, UBI, universal basic income. You can type it in. You get certain videos on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And this is even dangerous to upload what I'm saying here, but you'll get an understanding as you study it what these devils are really saying. Okay, because a lot of this is over. Jake don't want to hear nothing about Industry 4.0. Call hello y'all about Shemi Shy. All right, Jake don't want to hear nothing about the fourth industrial revolution. To them, it's like, what does that have to do with me? Yada yada yada. Well, keep living. Okay, and he's already said enough. So if you want to check this video out, it's on Rumble. Are we the last generations of pure humans,
This is not natural evolution. This is an artificial form of evolution. In my opinion, it's not in our best interest. It's not in the interest of our children. And very few people are saying that. You and I are the product of multiple generations where we have been led to believe that we're powerless victims of a world that we have no control over. We have been led, and our young people today, in school, today, while we're having this conversation, they're in classrooms, and they're being told that our humanness is a flawed form of life. Flawed, flawed form of life.
You see that? And that's what this elder went into. Human era in the fourth industrial revolution. So make sure you watch this video.
That we need something outside of us to compete in the world and be successful in business and be successful in whatever endeavors that we choose to put our time, energy, and life into. Among the flaws that are identified are human emotion. They say that human emotion clouds our ability to think clearly and make good decisions. And maybe in some cases that's true, but it's also because of human emotion that we have the uniquely human capacities of sympathy and empathy and compassion. These are all functions of a part of us. Now, I'm going to use a word that means different things to different people. And let me define the word, and then let me tell you why it's so important in our lives. When we talk about our humanness, when we talk about love, we talk about healing, we talk about forgiveness, we talk about imagination, creativity, innovation, intuition. All of these are expressions of a part of us that is rarely spoken about in the scientific community.
Right, because in the world to come, we won't need, people won't have emotions, thoughts. There's movies. Pretty sure you brothers know the name of the movie. There was a movie where there was an environment where people were targeted for having emotions. Forget the name of the movie. It was another futuristic movie, foreshadowing what they want to come. But yeah, there was an environment where if you had, reading was a thing of the past, the learning was a thing of the past, having emotions was a thing of the past. And if you were, found out to have emotions, you were targeted. Oh, you got emotions? You have passion? You have desires? You were rooted out, see, via AI, via, robots and all of that. So just imagine them using AI to say, if you're calling on the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, all right, there's systems set up to where you're sought out and destroyed. That's what Daniel, the 12th chapter is, just an example of what we see to come.
The word that describes these is divinity. Now, I know for some people, divinity can have a charge. Some people link it to religion. And I can see why, because there are schools of divinity that make that connection, and they do good work and they do good things. But I want you to know that the contemporary definition of divinity, listen to this. Listen to this definition. If you haven't heard it, you're going to love it. The contemporary definition of divinity is the ability to transcend perceived limitations. And that's it. Transcend means to become more than, not to fight with equal force, but to triumph, to become more than the challenges that life brings to our doorstep.
All right, let's get and here this is a good one too. Let me finish this. So they search out iniquities, they accomplish Psalm 64:6, a diligent search, both the inward thought of everyone. I mean, the heart is deep. There are these scientists, these Satanists on the left-hand side, Gil Bates, all of them, But God shall shoot at them with an arrow, and suddenly they shall be wounded. So shall they make their own tongue to fall on themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And this is an example of that. Their own tongue falling on themselves. Okay? But let's get the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. Okay? In the 14th verse. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had sight to do in the power of the beast. Let's look up this term, miracles. So he's deceiving people with miracles. Samion, a mark, a sign, that by which a person or thing is distinguished, okay, from other and is known. Okay, an unusual occurrence transcending the common course of nature. See? And I mean, you have this term. What is... All right, you have this term here. All right, transhumanism, the belief or theory that the human race can evolve beyond its current physical and mental limitations, especially by means of science and technology. Okay, this mimics the serpent in the garden, because that's all this is. When you go into the scriptures, it says that old serpent called the devil and Satan. As a matter of fact, Revelation 12:9, and the great dragon, the revival of Rome, was cast out. Okay, and this is, as a matter of fact, let's start at 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels. So when the Lord returns with his angels, because when you read Revelation, the 19th chapter, Yahweh Shah is coming with a whole band of angels. Michael is one of those angels, right? The powers that be, pursuant to Second Esdras, the 13th chapter, that's why they have the Space Force, which is the 6th addition to the U.S. military, the Space Force. They're going to fight against the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay? So again, and when you go into it, let's get Isaiah 31. It's a dope prophecy here in the book of Isaiah 31. In 3, it says, now the Egyptians, who's the modern day Egyptians? The Edomites. Okay? This is the spiritual Egypt. Now the Egyptians are men and not God. Their horses, meaning their power, flesh and not spirit, is limited. Although it's left hand power that they've been given. This is true, real left hand satanic demonic power given unto them by the Most High through Satan, right? But it's limited. Okay, it's artificial. All right, it's not of the spirit of righteousness. Okay, wickedness is not wisdom. It's artificial wisdom, intelligence. Okay, which Elon Musk told you that they're summoning a demon when they're dealing with AI. Okay, and it's being used to fight against righteousness, to fight against the Lord when he returns as well. Because AI is also going to be used for military purposes. Okay, when the Lord shall stretch out his hand, okay, which leads to Yahweh Shai, just like in ancient Egypt, how were we delivered? The angel of Yahweh was sent to deliver us out of Egypt, right? That's his hand. All right, when you read in Exodus, the 15th chapter, Moses and the Israelites singing that song, it said, thy right hand has become strong, thy right arm, which was that angel he sent, which was Yahweh Shai. And he's going to come again and deliver us. Okay? Isaiah 31:3, now the Egyptians are men and not God, their horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. So going back here to Revelation 12, and there was war in heaven, meaning in the sky, man, not in the literal heavens where the Lord, the Most High, dwells. It's a complete order there. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not, neither was there any place found anymore in heaven. And you got to understand the book of Revelation jumps around, so you have to be able to be spiritually discerning as to breaking it down. Because there's a lot of rhetoric going around about, oh, the angels, fought in heaven and Satan was kicked out. Now you have this fallen one doctrine. No, man. We have videos explaining all of that. Okay? No angel was kicked out of heaven and then came on earth and ruled and had sex with women and created a master race. The people who rule this earth are Edomites. Okay, they come from when you go to Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, all of the nations on the planet Earth stem from that. There is no other race outside of those races. There isn't a demonic race of people who survived the flood and secretly established the alien, lizard people. Stop. That is mythology that has nothing to do with the Bible. Genesis, the 6th chapter, is speaking of the physical descendants, all right, of Adam through Seth, okay, who pretty much fell from, their position as rulers, the sons of God. Anyway, in the great dragon, which this great dragon in this chapter leans to the Roman Empire, the red dragon, right? Which the revival of Rome would rule in the latter days. Okay, the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Because when Yahweh Shai returns, right? Why do you think they have a space force? Okay? Why do you think they're indulging in all of this technology? Okay? Revelation 19 and 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, because of all of this, symbolizing all of the destruction he's coming to bring. And his name was called the Word of God. And the armies of heaven followed him upon white horses, the chariots. Okay? Clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. Okay? And he should rule them with a rod of iron, as he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness of the wrath of the Almighty God. You see, and even verse 19, and I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on his horse and against his army. So they're going to fight against Yahweh Shai and the angels. That's why you think they have the Space Force. Yeah, that number 6. Okay. Anyway, they're coming. It's going to get so bad that the Lord is going to have to send his son back to deliver us along with the angels. That's how bad the environment on the planet Earth is getting ready to be with this crazy plan that they got, because it's going to take brute force and a lot of destruction to bring this about. This is why it says in Revelation, the 6th chapter, all right, Revelation, the 6th chapter, and the 8th verse, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and the name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him, and power was given him over the fourth part of the earth. All right, which is going to be the leading, America, Babylon the Great, that's the fourth, part of the earth, the new world, where they're going to establish, the beginning of their NWO is going to be bred out of, to kill with the sword and with hunger and with death and with the beasts of the earth. So a lot of people are going to suffer, all right, because pursuant to their science, you deserve to be starved out. You deserve to be destroyed. Anyway, let's move to this one here.
You will own nothing and you will be happy. If your right to own stuff is taken away from you, then basically we have feudalism. Someone's going to own the stuff that people will be renting or borrowing or whatever. And they will be the kings and the emperors. They will be the people pulling the strings, making the big decisions.
You have a lot of people giving up on the system, giving up on this society, and going to the wilderness because a lot of people understand where this is all going and what's happening. Okay, that term, you will own nothing, and smile about it. Hey, look at the world around you. Look at your life. What do you actually own? Even the music you listen to it's from an app. I still have some vinyl records and CDs. All right, but you don't actually own music anymore. Entertainment is all you rent. You don't own anything. The house you rent, but to own a house or to own a car, it's near to impossible in these times. Yet you got our people running around talking about who's broken, the bag, and this and that. All right, a bunch of a well-kept monument of failure. You got all of these nice clothes and cars, but you don't own nothing. You through. You're an economic slave to debt. All right, running around on these podcasts talking about what you don't want and this and that and what you ain't gonna accept and what I am the table. Y'all are completely gone, man. This is why we ain't worried about the 2/3. We seeking out those who are seeking justice and judgment in the earth.
Hi there and welcome to my channel. I like to sit down and think and talk, hopefully in that order, here on this channel. And we've been through a lot during the last couple of years. And a lot of people are thinking and maybe saying to themselves that now we have returned to the normal. Now we are going back to how it used to be.
Yeah, a lot of people we going back pre-2020. A lot of people, talking about we going back to the 90s. When Trump and Elon showed up to the John Jones fight, people were like, this is nostalgic of the Tyson era. They think it's all coming back. Okay. But what you don't know, from 2020, all right, that psyop till now, okay, it was the beginning of what they want. Okay.
Before all the craziness. But sadly, that's not the case, because we are probably at the start of what the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab like to call the fourth industrial revolution. And I will talk a little bit about that and why I have decided not to be part of that, why I have decided to reject modern life altogether, and why you should consider perhaps doing the same. Now, the fourth industrial revolution, you can go to the World Economic Forum's website and read all about it there, at least. You can read what they write.
And they're just counting on people to being like, it's too long. This doesn't have nothing to do with me. I don't want to hear that. Even Israelite camps, they don't think this is anything to do with the Bible. See, but we're living in a time where, now they're saying we have to get control of information. Okay. If you just look up, with these devils, let me type it in here. I wish this was funny. I was reading that, but I don't know the gist of it. So I ain't making that fact, but hey, you can look that up for yourself. Woo! Where are we, man? What's going on? fact that it's even possible. It's the world we live in. You know, they have the ability to present someone to you as what they aren't. That's the world we live in. Babylon the Great. But here, as you can see here, Klaus Schwab says misinformation is a critical challenge because now all of these things are coming out about what they're really doing. Okay? Democrats propose police fact-checking units to target conspiracy theorists spreading misinfo. So that's going to also be a big, all right, just watch what's next with Bill Gates if you want to know what they're getting ready to do, okay? And it's all presented, you know, with these loving, innocent, you know, white men and women, you know, they're just talking to you and telling you their plans and smiling. These people have no soul, all right? Again, what did it say? And our people, even our people who are linked with them to get to where they are, they don't have a soul. They have to go through rituals and things to where, you know, whew. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. So the end would not come, all right, until this happened. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, the prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Yahweh Shai. See? Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and lying, signs and lying wonders. I love the NLT. This man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power, signs, and miracles. Counterfeit, pseudoscience. And a pseudoscience has now been upgraded to be merged with this AI.
About what they write there, you know, and you can make up your own mind on what it's about. But if you ask me, I would say it's about control. First and foremost, it's about control. Human beings are chaotic beings, and it has always been a main goal for all kings and emperors.
There you go.
To get more control over the population, and that's what this whole thing, this fourth industrial revolution, is about. It really isn't such a new thing. We have seen this before in world history many times. It's just that the tools they are using are quite new. People will say that, you know,
because in modern time it will be the tattoo or the brand. They will enter into these registries, you know, and then in these modern times, social security number, you know, birth certificates. You know, all of that is getting ready to be upgraded to this digital ID, MOTB. All right? That charagma. And we're coming into the time where all of you camps that was mocking and scoffing and playing, a lot of your followers are looking at our videos and they go, hey, it tells you in Zechariah, the 13th chapter, that a lot of these people in these congregations are going to slay their leaders because they lied to them. Watch. You see Nate being chased down the freeway. Jake with the fringes on, mad at him. Like, nigga, why you lie?
Well, how can you say that you're rejecting modern life? You're sitting there talking to a camera. Well, actually, some people claim that I'm talking to a smartphone. I don't have a smartphone. I'm using a camera. And you're using a lot of modern gear, you know, high-tech gear, titanium kettle here and everything, you know. And yeah, that's true. But you know what? All those things are already a part of the past. Modern life, the modern life, or I guess you could call it modernity, that I'm talking about here, is the kind of life, the kind of society that we are about to enter. Now, there are many aspects to this, and I won't get into all of them, but making everything digital is one aspect, or should I say a problem. Now, a digital currency, state-controlled cryptocurrency, for instance, will be extremely effective when it comes to controlling people's behavior, because they can basically decide what you're allowed to buy and then spend money on, and so on.
Oh, really? Is that right? Let's get Revelation 13. And see, this is becoming more of a reality in these times, man. And I love it. Although we know it's going to be tight, it's right. And no matter what you people say and how much scoffing and mocking, even if, certain of us go back to the spirit world, this is going to happen. And the elect are going to be delivered from this, man. This is what we're fighting for victory over. See, we're already in the belly of the beast, but he wants to fully devour, man. Okay. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. And even a lot of their own kind are going to be victims to this, that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of the beast.
And so on. Another problem, of course, is that the concept of ownership will be a thing of the past. By now you have heard the phrase, you will own nothing and you will be happy. You will be happy, or else. That's feudalism. I'm not saying it's exactly the same as medieval times feudalism, but if your right to own stuff is taken away from you, or if it's made so difficult or so expensive for you to own your own stuff, then basically we have feudalism. Someone's going to own the stuff that people will be renting or borrowing or whatever. And they will be the kings and the emperors. They will be the people pulling the...
Feudalism. Feudal was a social and political system in Europe during the Middle Ages. It was characterized by a hierarchical structure where the elite owned the land and gave it to others in exchange for work and loyalty. Okay. And they've hoarded more from 2020 to now. They've hoarded more of the land and resources to themselves. Okay.
The strings making the big decisions. So that is perhaps the biggest problem among all the big problems in this brave new world of the fourth industrial revolution. Another problem is, of course, their lack of understanding of one, nature, two, human nature. It's not going to end well. And I fear that if they go through with this, which I think they will, because this has support among state leaders all over the world, a majority of them, I believe, it will not end well. It will end in famine, war, and civil unrest on a scale that we have.
Famine. Now we just read Revelation, the 6th chapter. All right, where the pale horse.
Haven't seen in centuries. And your privacy will be gone, and you will be monitored by Big Brother 24/7. I believe that as time goes by, more and more people will choose to opt out. But we are seeing that already. People are actually building those parallel societies right now. And you can go to the comment section here on this video, and you will probably find people there with a similar mindset as you, and you can connect to them there. I know lots of people have.
All right, so you can watch this video. We'll end it off with a little bit of this. All right, Whitney be going in. Whitney Webb's take on Doge, Elon, DeepSeek AI, and the elites. She's always good to listen to. And we link all of this with the scriptures and prophecy.
Like Eric Schmidt, for example, who, as I noted earlier, had sort of an outsized role in developing the AI policy of the military and intelligence community. He wrote a book called The Age of AI with Henry Kissinger, and also, I believe, a professor from MIT, who, I'm sorry, his name escapes me at the moment, but basically that book posited that essentially AI is going to make a two-tiered society. There's going to be the top tier of people who develop and maintain AI and set and determine what its objective functions are, and then sort of a second class who, which we would assume is larger than the first class, so they don't explicitly say that, but who AI acts upon, and eventually that group will lose the ability to understand and really be able to conceive of how AI is impacting their lives, and will develop some sort of dependency on AI for things like decision making, sort of leading to this phenomena that they refer to in the book as cognitive diminishment, which I sort of...
the humans are too dumb. We need AI to come and govern us, and the elites will be at the forefront of it all. Okay, and they'll transcend unto gods, promising you that you'll be able to transcend. And at the same time, you'll be limited in your travel, what you eat. Everything will change. And people like us, and if you're watching this video, they don't plan on you getting to that world. They plan on you being out. They probably take some of us, download our, conscience to some, chip and hide it in their, library where they'll have access to it. But, mass majority of the people, man, woo, the plan for you is to go back to the spirit world.
Sort of see as this idea of, we've all heard it before, if you don't use it, you lose it. Sort of the idea of like mental math, you start using a calculator or a phone calculator or something like that, and it becomes more difficult over time and eventually very difficult to be able to do mental math in your head, when perhaps when you were in grade school, it was much easier to do that because you had to use that ability regularly. And so they essentially argue that by not making those decisions and outsourcing that to AI, this particular class will lose the ability to make those decisions over time. And when you also factor in that there's a lot of effort to sort of outsource creativity, art and music to artificial intelligence, will that have an impact on people's ability to create, and what sort of impact will this have on society? And, these are things that I think sort of get left out of the public discussion, and I don't think they're really on someone like Trump's radar as a businessman. He's focused on sort of the bottom line, the number, the success of the negotiation, and how successful it looks, frankly, whether it's to his base or to businessmen he wants to court. Well, I don't necessarily want to say that I'm like a Luddite and we should all go back to the Stone Age or things like this, but I think there needs to be like an actual public discussion on this, particularly on the fact that our out-of-control national security state in Silicon Valley have essentially been fusing over the past few decades, and what necessarily that means, because a lot of people will say stuff, well, it's AI in the private sector, but when that private sector company has multi-million-dollar conflicts of interest with the national security state, I think that should, be part of the discussion. Necessarily. And I think also there needs to be a way to sort of know whether some of these algorithms are hyped, or whether what the company says their accuracy is, for example, is actually accurate before decisions are made to outsource major decision making, whether at the government level or the local level or really on any level, to an algorithm. So, as an example, during COVID, the governor of Rhode Island, Gina Raimondo, sort of gave a green light to this Israeli company called Diagnostic Robotics to use, the health data in the state to predict COVID outbreaks before they could happen, right? And Gina Raimondo,
doesn't that
by the way,
violate HIPAA laws?
Well, I'm sure a lot of those were sort of suspended under the emergency justification of COVID. I'm not exactly familiar with the legal or potential legal snafus of that at the time, or maybe they justified it by saying they sort of took anonymized the data. I don't really know. But the idea was to sort of use that data to identify local hotspots and predict outbreaks before they happen. And so obviously if, the algorithm of this company predicts an outbreak, there would be sort of these localized lockdowns and people would lose their ability to engage in in-person commerce and freedom of movement, et cetera. So, consequences that are pretty significant to the people living there. And when I reported on it at the time, as I recall, but it's been a few years, but I do know that the algorithm per the company was under 80% accurate. I think it was somewhere in the 70s. And so that's the company, right? So if it's not independently vetted, and this is sort of, company PR at the end of the day, is that overinflated? It's quite possible, right? And so what if the accuracy of that isn't really in the 70s, it's in the 60s or near the 50s? It's no better than a coin toss. Right? Is it really worth putting that kind of power in the hand of an algorithm that isn't necessarily going to be more efficient and accurate, but all this hype that's been generated around AI as an industry suggests that has sort of created this public perception that AI is inherently smarter than human decision makers and more efficient and more cost effective, for example.
Yep.
I think these are kind of problematic scenarios that need to be considered. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or poo-poo on on innovation, but I think, civil liberties do matter. And I think people need to be very mindful of that, especially considering, again, the Silicon Valley fusion with the national security state and the national security state's tendency to opportunistically whittle down American civil liberties for their benefit.
Yep. And your civil liberties stand in the way of the NWO and what they plan. All right. You can watch the rest of this.
It's a really interesting intersection that I clearly need to start thinking more about. The way that I would look at that, and this ties into something you mentioned earlier, during the inauguration of Donald Trump, you had all these tech billionaires there by him, and it certainly gave me like, ooh, this is why people are paranoid about oligarchy vibes. And I'm not super prone to that kind of thinking. So the fact that it hit me like that, I was like, okay, definitely it's good that people are being paranoid. But the intersection feels like it's a very natural intersection to me. So the reason that national security would be fusing with technology is that technology is going to be the front.
What is an oligarchy? A small group of people having control of a country, organization, or institution. Okay? The English aristocratic oligarchy of the 19th century, government by oligarchy. All right, that the 1%, which everybody's calling their asses out.
Where these battles are fought. And so anybody that's seen, however many thousands of drones that China can launch and get to, dance like a dragon, is very compelling when you see it. It looks so cool. And then you imagine, well, what happens when 10,000 drones like that are able to go over aircraft carrier, and each one drops a reasonable sized payload that by itself would do next to nothing, but you drop 10,000 of those little somethings on that ship and you turn it into Swiss cheese. You realize, the way that we've been doing national defense is not going to work in a modern combat scenario. And so it is going to be these tech guys that we're going to need, even if you just grant me that AI is going to get really good at hacking, which there was a recent announcement. I forget if it was from DeepSeek. I can't remember, but there was a company that was doing this where they wanted to see how well their AI was at hacking, and it was unbelievably good. And so they were doing it as a red team inside of a company.
So AI will be used to bring peace and safety. Watch the rest of this video. You see that there. Technocracy.news. Must gain access to Treasury Department payment system. Remember, it was hacked. Well, now he has access to it. So we see where this is going. Let's end it off here. Woo! In the book of Psalms 21 and 8. Okay. Thine hand shall find out all thine enemies. Thy right hand shall find out all those that hate thee. And that's Yahweh Shai. And through Yahweh Shai, we have the Holy Spirit to testify of these things. This is what puts us at the threat of imminent death. We're on the front lines of a serious spiritual war, man. Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. Yahweh shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Their fruit shall thou destroy off from the earth, and their seed from among the children of men. When we talk about what's coming for the Edomites, it's not just because we're angry about slavery. No, this is crazy. Okay? Deeper than that. For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. And this is that mischievous device. He's going to let them seem like they got right there. And he's going to send his son back to stop it all. This is where we are in prophecy, brothers and sisters who are listening. All of you who are mocking, scoffing, still drunk off of the wine of Babylon, please don't comment. Just go live your life. Go get you some nuggets. Right? The victuals are still cheap. You can get you about 20 nuggets for $4.99. Go get you some nuggets. Go get a shake the old school way. Go get a Whopper. All right. Bonbons. A whatchamacallit. They still make them. Go live it up. And think you returning back to normalcy. And just watch what's getting ready to happen. Psalms 2 and 1. Why do the heathen rage? Okay? And the people imagine a vain thing. Okay? Why did the heathen rage? And the people imagine a vain thing. Okay? Salakia. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed. Let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords from us. That's when you read this in the NLT. It says, let us break their chains, they cry, and free ourselves from slavery to God. So they don't want the Heavenly Father's plan of his son ruling on earth to be established. Okay, unless it's a white man coming out of the sky looking like he's a part of a rock guitar band. Okay, that's the only way they're going to say that there's a God, right? Then he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. And that's through the prophets. Okay. Yet I have set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. And that's what's going to happen, man. Okay. The Lord is going to set his son up, and under him, the 12 disciples and the rest of the 144,000. Okay. And then a large multitude. And he's going to establish a righteous government in this earth to set up paradise. And it's going to, start out of Jerusalem and the promised land given unto the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We're going to return to that land under Yahweh Shai and set up peace on earth. So again, if you want to check these videos out, you see it, just look it up. Lord willing, this video stays up. Stay prayed up. All right. And watch this devil, man. Shalom.